We are now again above 7% for the interest rate, guys. It's the beginning of May, middle of May here. I'm out here at Put-in-Bay on the island at Massie Preserve. I want to talk about this, and I want to say again how I dislike when agents or anybody else tells a buyer to marry the house and date the rate. You can buy now at a higher interest rate and refinance later on when interest rates come down. Well, guess what? They're not coming down right now like people anticipated in the end of 2023 when we hit peak rates there. We got close to 8%, and everyone said, oh, just buy now and refinance next year when things come down again. Well, now that's not looking like it's gonna happen. So don't let people tell you to do this to, you're the one putting your financial world on the line when you buy a home. You're saying you're gonna be able to make that payment. You are signing your mortgage saying that you will pay, and that rate is fixed for 30 years. Yes, if rates come down, great, you can refinance, but do not count on that or anybody else's word, because nobody can really predict these things, not one individual. So don't let someone try to push you into making a huge purchase if you're not comfortable making that payment that you are saying you're gonna pay. It can be, icing on the cake if you do refinance later, but never buy a home where you are overextending yourself. Never buy a home that the purchase price is more than you're comfortable with. And I see people talking about real estate agents doing this all the time, saying, well, they don't care, they just want to push for the highest home. That's not what I'm saying, and it's very important because this is the biggest financial decision that of your life that many people will ever make, buying or selling real estate. And that interest rate is a big deal because they are over double what they were a few years back, and that means your interest payment is over double. So be very careful. Prices are still remaining so high right now, along with interest rates being high. So it's a double whammy right now, just because of the environment we were in when rates were so low for so long. Then they shot up, and it's causing what's called the lock-in effect, where no sellers are selling now just to then have to buy in at a higher interest rate. So they're hanging on to their homes, causing the inventory to be so low and the prices to remain high. So right now it's kind of a dichotomy going on where we have high rates and high prices. So if you're buying, just be very careful, run the numbers, make sure you know what your insurance number is gonna be, make sure you know what your taxes are going to be. That's another trap, because the current tax rate might be based on an assessed valuation that is way below market value. So if you buy a home and the county reassesses that home at the purchase price that you just bought it for, which is going to be high right now, your taxes are going to go way up, and it might take a delay. It might be 1, even 2 years before they reassess and send you that new bill, but your tax burden every year is going to go up. So be very careful when you're locking into a payment, into a mortgage. Make sure you know what the costs are going to be. Ask your realtor what the post-purchase tax bill will be for your county and your city, and they'll send it to you. They'll be able to do the math for you. And insurance right now is also going up across the board. Some companies like Allstate are not even issuing new policies in certain states, like Florida. Car insurance is going up too. We won't get into that, but your home insurance bill is, I would not anticipate that going down. So be very careful, run the numbers, make sure you're working with an agent that can explain these things to you. And if, don't let somebody say, marry the house, date the rate. Make sure they're comfortable where you lock in. And if it goes down, great. And if it doesn't, you are fixed. It can never go up. If you lock into a 30-year loan, which is what I always recommend. People ask me, what should I do on a 15-year versus a 30-year? Well, a 15-year is going to have a lower interest obligation over time. If you apply for a mortgage, the lender will send you these numbers and amortization schedule that will show you this. And you will pay a lot more interest over time if you get a 30-year loan. But a 30-year loan allows more flexibility. If you fall upon hard times, your monthly payment will be lower. You can always make payments higher and pay off the mortgage in 15 years, but you can't do it vice versa. If you have a 15-year, you can't just make lower payments if you have a hard month. So I always recommend going with a 30-year loan, and then you're fixed into that rate for 30 years. And if it's a good rate, then great. It can never go up over that. Just show you guys around here real quick. I'm out here at the Massie Preserve, the north side of Put-in-Bay, getting my bike ride in for the day, a little exercise. And the islands, you can see them around me. You can just see Ballast Island peeking out there, but in the back there, that's Peely Island, Canada. Right there, we've got Middle Bass and Lon's Winery, right there. Rattlesnake Island, it's a private island. And Gibraltar is right here. You can hardly see it sticking out there in front in Put-in-Bay Harbor. Of course, we've got Put-in-Bay South Bass Island here behind me. Nice little preserve up here on the north side of the island. So, you know, be careful. If you guys ever want me to run the numbers for you, feel free to shoot me a message. You know, I educate my buyers on this when we go from the beginning. I say, hey, here's a website where you can go to. A lot of counties will have this. If you Google property tax estimator, and you can see what the post-purchase price, you know, estimate will be for your taxes, and then run your numbers on that, your PITA, your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance payment. Run your numbers based on that value, because even if the taxes are low now, then they're gonna go up if the assessed value is higher, if your purchase price is higher than the current assessed value. I'll talk to you guys soon. I hope you get a little education and value out of this. I'm always here for you if you need me to run the numbers on something, if you need some advice, if you wanna look at any real estate. I'm always around here out in the Shores and Islands region. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. See ya. Bye.